Hello, hello friends. So we will start with the geography 12th human geography. So first we have to understand the meaning of the human geography. Actually, it is the interaction between the environment and human beings. It is the relation between environment and human beings. This is called human geography. So we can learn about the nature of the human geography. What is the character of this human geography and the extent, scope of this human geography? Up to what extent it could go, and what is the range of this discipline human geography? Actually, it is the part of geography, and also there are some discipline which really shares the same information as human geography. So in it there are, how could we understand human geography? Either with lawmaking, theorizing, nomothetic, or descriptive. It means lawmaking with rules or regulations, or based on descriptive, ideographic, or through observation. So this is the definitions of the NCERT, the relation between the physical, natural and the human worlds, the spatial distribution of human phenomena and how they come about, the social and economic differences between different parts of the world. So this is the definition of the human geography. Human geography. See, also there is definition given by Radzel. Human geography is the synthetic study of relationship between human society and earth surface. Says focus is on the synthesis. Synthesis is means observation. Focus is on the observation without analysis. The second definition given by Alan E. Sample, human geography is the study of changing relationship between the unresting man and unstable earth. So what do you mean by unresting man and the unstable earth? It means that from the earlier days to the current era, there is a dynamic relation between nature and human beings. It is not a static relation, it changes over the period of time. Now it is the focus on the dynamism concept, and by the Paul Vidal Blach conception resulting from a more synthetic knowledge of the physical laws governing our earth and the relation between the living beings which inhabit it. So human geography offers new conceptions. It is not like that it was already there, it gives a new concept. The human geography gives a new concept according to the Paul Vidal, the man who gave the concept of possibilism. We read it later. Now, as we described the Paul Vidal, the man who propounded the theory of possibilism. So we will study it further. And the next one, so first we have to understand about the naturalization of humans and humanization of nature. Two examples are given in the NCERT book regarding the naturalization of humans, how earlier human beings adapted themselves to the nature. They worshipped the nature, they revered the nature, they had fear from the nature. That's why they started adapting to the nature. But humanization of nature. In the second example, the human utilized his intelligence and got out of the cycles of the limitation of the nature. So humans defied the limitation of the limitation of the nature. It means that earlier human did not have such intelligence so that they could make their life comfortable. Also they did not want to interpret or intervene into the nature, and they started adjusting themselves to the nature, and because they worshipped it, they had the fear from the nature. But right now we know that we have the highly sophisticated technology, and we have from the aeroplanes to the new technology to the transport, which created a pollution which damages the environment, but it made our life easier. For example, aeroplane, in the 15th century, what happened in the Renaissance concept came in, and the Newtons and other scientists just invented many new things. And for example, we got the concept of the friction, and there was discovery of fire. For example, in the 15th century, Renaissance was there in Italy. So Newton gave the concept of gravitation. Also in the painting, there were some artists. So it was the face of the news ideas, and we got information and we started changing our lives. But this is about the naturalization of humans and humanization of nature. So in the concept of environmental determinism versus possibilism, so what I have taught you earlier, it is the same concept but in the form of theory. See, it was asked in the previous year 2020. It is important questions, so it could be asked in the next exam. So environmental determinism means the naturalization of humans. Earlier humans did not interpret with the law of the nature, and they adjusted themselves to the nature. So it is environmental determinism. It means they did not damage the environment. But possibilism meant humans wanted freedom. They wanted to get out of the cycles of the nature, limitation of the natures. They started inventing new technology that defied the limitation of the nature. For example, I have already said you aeroplane and other things. They invented new technology. So it is possibilism. It means also it damages the environment. Set up factories which created pollution. So indirectly or directly it is harming the environment. So it is the concept of possibilism. And second one is the neo-determinism. It means we have to follow the balanced approach. Means without damaging environment, we have to get development. Means without damaging environment or nature, we can have development, we can have freedom. So better say, you know, one word is there, sustainable development. It means then development without damaging nature or environment. So neo-determinism talks about the balanced approach, but environmental determinism is the earlier condition or situation of human beings, how they adjusted themselves to the nature, but the knowledge of the technology, the new inventions made them so much aware that they utilized it. But what happened with the invention of the new technology, indirectly or directly, is going to damage the environment. Okay, so we have to follow the neo-determinism, balance approach. So it is the NCERT definition. It means that possibility can be created within the limits which do not damage the environment, and there is no free run without accident. The free run which the developed economies attempted to take has already resulted in the greenhouse effect, ozone layer depletion, global warming, receding glaciers, degrading lands. Neo-determinism conceptually attempts to bring a balance, nullifying the either or dichotomy. So what does it mean? We are using the new technology, but it is going to harming the nature. So we have to use such technology or in such a manner. You have to follow the balance approach, so that it should not create any dichotomy. Dichotomy means tussle. There should not be tussle or dichotomy between man and nature, so that we should have a symbiotic relationship. Symbiotic relationship with nature. So we have to follow the balance approach. Otherwise, what we have to face? We have to face situation like global warming. And you know what is global warming? Average increase in the temperature of the earth. Greenhouse effect is also there, increasing the temperature. Due to that, ozone layer depletion is there. Ozone layer protects us from ultraviolet ray. You might have read in the class 11th. But due to the depletion of ozone, what would happen? It would be harmful for our skin. There is also global warming is hitting glacier. Due to the increase of the temperature, glaciers are melting. Sea degrading of lands are there. Global warming are receding, glaciers are getting melted. That is the reason that when we acquired technology, we have the new invention, new technology, we set up factories, but what happened? It created pollutions and damages, started damaging the environment, and it is the effect of the such things are the effect. This is ozone layer depletions, and glaciers are getting melted, degrading lands. So we have to follow the process of neo-determinism, so that we can save the damages. Now, so first she have now we have to learn about the human human geography through the corridors of time. So it is not a static discipline, or it is not the concept of a particular period. It is has gone through, has traveled through the corridor of time. So welfare humanistic school of thought. So how could we relate human geography discipline to the other discipline? We can relate to the humanistic school of thought. In human geography was mainly concerned with the different aspects of social well-being of the people. These include aspects such as housing, wealth, education. Geographers have already introduced paper as geography of social well-being in the postgraduate curriculum. Radical school of thought employed Marxian theory. See Karl Marx, a sociologist from Germany. He also wrote about the capitalism. He was against the capitalism and how it destroy the structure of the society and deprivation, social inequality. See that human geography is also related to the behavior school of thought, laid great emphasis on the lived experience and also perception of space by social categories based on ethnicity, race and religion. Now the question has been asked about the fields and subfields of human. So earlier colonial period exploration and descriptions. So what does it mean? So Vasco da Gama discovered India. Columbus discovered America. So earlier there were voyages, exploration, discoveries were there. Imperial and trade interests, when they discovered the new land, the trade started. Then trade interest prompted the discovery of the exploration of the new area. Encyclopedic description of the area formed an important aspect of geographical account. After the later colonial regional analysis, after they discovered the land, they elaborated the description of the particular region and they analyzed all aspects. The idea was then a region were part of the whole earth. So undermining the parts in totality would lead to understanding the whole. Suppose this is earth, they started analyzing this part, this part, this part, this part, so that they can understand the whole part. If they are ignoring any part, then it would be difficult to understand the whole earth. And 1920 through the interwar. So first world started 1940, lasted 1918. So period of what? Areal differences. They focus on identifying the uniqueness of any region and understanding how it was different from the other. Then they focus on the uniqueness of the particular region. Why this region is different from, suppose A region is that, B region is C and D. Why D region is different from B and A or C. Late 1950 to late 60s, special organizations, they focused on the marked by use of computer and sophisticated statistical tools. Law of physics were often applied to map analysis human phenomena. It means after they have applied the knowledge of the new invention technology, so that they can get extra informations using the statistical tools and the law of physics. This phase was called the quantitative revolutions. Means they have utilized a lot of technology, new theories, law of physics. That's why it is called quantitative revolution. And during 1920 emergence of humanistic radicals, see, firstly they focus on the scientific things, scientific tools, but they thought that something is ignored, and what was that ignored part was this humanistic part. So they discontentment with the quantitative revolution. Quantitative means they are using only the scientific knowledge, theory and invention technology, and they are not focusing on the humanistic aspect of the particular thing. So dehumanized manner of the dotting geography led to the emergence of the new school of, so it gave the concept of the new schools regarding the humanistic aspect of human geography. So they started analyzing from that aspect also. The human geography was made more relevant to the socio-political reality. The emergence of those school of thought concerned the box not meet more about the school of thought. In 1990, postmodernism, post concept of postmodernism is, earlier they were focusing on the only theory as on the whole aspect. They are not focusing on the individual experience. So postmodernism focus on the individual experience. So it is not like that just there is only one theory. Means people have the experience. It means it may be different from the what the person have already experienced. So they focus on the individual experience. The grand generalization and the applicability of universal theories to explain the human condition were questions. We are applying universal theory to explain the condition of the humans or understanding the human geography, but it is not sufficient. The importance of understanding each local context, then we are focused on each local problems, analyzing it, explain it, then we can have what is the reason behind the particular situation prevailing out there. It is not like according to the universal theory we are explaining all the things. It means that we have to focus from the other aspects also. And also the other fields are social geography. So see, there are subfields. It has been asked in the examination. If you will ask what are the subfields of the human geography, social geography, then you have to write behavioral geography, geography of social well-being, geography of leisure, cultural geography, gender, historical geography, medical geography. They ask about give the interface between the sister discipline, what social science, that you have to write urban strategy planning. If they ask about the subfields of the political geography, then you have to write electoral geography, military organization, psephologists. Psephologists means the study of election results. You might have watched it during the election period. The psephologist would be there in the panelist of discussion on the news channel. So psephologist is the expert at the election results, and it is the studies of election result is also psephology. And it is population geography is meant the study of demography. And also about what we will settlement geography. So sister discipline is urban planning. If we ask about the subfields of the economic geography, then you have to write geography of resources, geography of agriculture, geography of industry, geography of marketing, geography of tourism, geography of international trade. So this is the end of the chapter of 12th class, book 1. It is human geography.